somebody forgot, my dad, I don't know, someone forgot to tighten the hose clamp down, and it was like after we'd been running for a couple minutes, and I got in an accident, and like car went across the hood or something like that, and it grabbed the radiator hose and ripped it off.
Oh.
And my bare legs met hot boiling water. That felt really good.
So Tyler Reddick joining us here in the Freak Nation, of course, running the NASCAR Cup Series, getting set for Sunday at Phoenix Raceway. And we were talking about the ARCA Series race on MAV TV Friday night, where he wasn't able to see much of it. But when you have a race like the ARCA Series, Tyler, that you may not have any vested interest in the ARCA Series initially, but as a driver that's worked his way up like you have, how do you watch races for like that when there's rookie drivers and young drivers? Do you look at it like a mentor perspective, like he should be doing this or I would have done that at that age? Or do you just watch it like it's just a damn race?
It's a mix of both, but I'd say I start watching it with the purpose of really, all right, I got to learn and study, learn something from this, study this, see what the track's doing, all that stuff. By the end of the race, I find myself like shouting and yelling like a race fan. Because I mean, I still am a race fan. That's what got me into racing was, just enjoyment, love watching, drivers out there competing on the edge. But yeah, I mean, whether it's even a race I get knocked out of, like the 500 when Austin broke through and won that thing. Yeah, I found myself cheering and yelling and screaming probably as loud as some of the fans in the stands. So I bounce back and forth. I do love it a lot. So,
are you the same if you're watching Formula One or if you're watching NHRA? I mean, do you even have a chance to watch all forms of racing?
NHRA, I don't get to watch too much because I feel like they're on Sundays. They're kind of competing around the same time that NASCAR is. And the one or two off weekends that we do have, the last thing on my mind is really racing, I guess. But yeah, I mean, pretty much every Sunday once their season cranks up, I'm waking up for one purpose and one purpose only. That's to watch F1 race normally. So that's what I wake up at. Whatever. I mean, if it's 3, 4, 7, whatever.
Really?
Don't matter. Get a cup of coffee. Let's go.
Right.
Watch some racing.
Why? Huh. Why is Formula One your Jones? I can guess, but why is it that you set your alarm to watch a series that isn't, that doesn't have fenders?
Well, you mentioned fenders, but like I came from outlaw karts and open wheel dirt racing as it's called. So I don't know. I don't really pick and choose like, because this car has fenders or doesn't. I like it or don't like it.
Is it the technology that just blows you away that these cars can do what they're doing?
Yeah. I mean, the budget, the technology, the drivers that they find, the drivers that they really groom and grow. And then I guess the obvious one for me is, just the fact that, those cars have one purpose from the very first part or piece or the first graph of like carbon getting laid around the top. Right. Like it's all speed, nothing else matters. Speed. I mean, there's some safety stuff that they've brought along with the halo and everything that's really good. But those cars just, I mean, we think we know what fast is, and that's just a whole nother level of fast. Those cars are pulling G's that like you can only get in F-16s and fighter jets. That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So basically, Memorial Day Sunday is your Christmas. I mean, well, it used to be. Hopefully, we're going to get back to it again. Wake up with Formula One, head to the Indy 500, and then you're in the cockpit for the Coke 600. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that for a race fan.
No, it doesn't. You have racing pretty much all day long. Early in the morning, I think. I could be wrong. They'll be running Monaco.
Yes.
Then you have the Indy 500. Then you have the Coke 600 to, either try and, wash away a hangover or your hangover's quickly approaching, your racing hangover.
That's true.
If you will.
Fans, yes.
But yeah, it's a really fun day. Like, it sneaks up on me every time. I don't think about it until it's like almost there, and it's like, oh my God, there's so much racing I got to watch before I go race. But yeah, as a racing fan, there's a lot to take in. It's a really cool deal if you're into motorsports. You can be glued to a TV pretty much all day long.
Well, explain what is it like? We're at the Indy 500 typically, so what is it like in Charlotte? I mean, are there TVs everywhere? Are people drinking their coffees and kind of talking about what's going on in other parts of the world at that time? I mean, what is it like in Charlotte?
I think somewhat, NASCAR of all sports, I feel like can kind of get a little lost or caught up in its own self a little bit, and there's a lot of people in our sport that love F1 and love watching Indy 500. But like I feel like if you're gonna look at all three and say, okay, this is the one where it might get kind of lost in itself from time to time, it's probably NASCAR a little bit because, I don't know. I've never strolled through the campground at 7 in in Charlotte Motor Speedway, but I would imagine most everybody's passed out asleep, because they've been up all night partying. So maybe some will be up. Maybe I'll be proven wrong if I go look in the morning. I probably won't because I'll be watching the race at home with coffee. So, yeah, it's I think the big screen has had the Indy 500 playing from time to time at the times that I've been to the track. That early, normally on 600 day like that, you don't get to the track till a good bit later in the afternoon.
Well, hold on.
That's a good point too.
I don't know, Tyler's. I always hated when people said this to me. You were too young to remember, but I'm going to say that. When we started Speed Freaks 20 plus years ago, there was such a division between open wheel and NASCAR. Such a division. And it was created by open wheel. Mm-hmm. NASCAR took the reins and kicked the ass of open wheel with a split and so forth. And then NASCAR copped that attitude. And now it looks like we're working our way back to where you've got an IndyCar race and a NASCAR race in the same weekend at a track. And we've been talking about that for 20 years. Where it's like you're saying, man, if you could watch an HR, you would, or maybe a supercross race, because we're all motorsports fans. Once we get outside of our bubble and realize that, God damn it, Tyler Reddick wants to watch Formula One. What? Are you kidding me? He didn't want to sit down and watch all these stock car races? No, he's a motorhead. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we're getting back to where we can enjoy each other's series, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think the more that the drivers have a diverse background of what they race, helps them as a driver in the car. And the more that the teams and the owners and partners are comfortable with that, it helps the drivers kind of move around. Then you might notice some of the fans, like fans of Kyle Larson especially, kind of move around, follow everything that he's doing. So the more that starts to happen, the more fans that only watch NASCAR that don't even haven't even given the time of day to watch IndyCar or Formula One or IMSA, those crossovers will start to happen more the more that the drivers are actually doing that too, I think.
Well, Crasher, I'm going to follow up on that because there was hatred that Dario Franchitti came over to stock cars, that Juan Pablo Montoya.
A lot of it was the fan base, though, too.
Yeah.
And like Tyler's saying, fans need to realize all boats rise on a high tide, and we all need each other together.
Yeah.
It's motorsports against stick and ball at times for sponsor dollars.
Yeah.
So let's help each other.
So it wasn't fun watching that. Mm-hmm. That because we're friends with all the series, but the hatred for Dario Franchitti, one of the nicest cats on the planet. You're going stock car racing? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, let him go.
He wants to pay his bills. He wants to try something new.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why, again, I guess I wasn't really in the sport like I'm where I am today, so I firsthand didn't really see a lot of that, but I do remember, there wasn't a lot of positive energy flowing around from what should have been a very positive thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that that's gotten better. Like, there's, I didn't see a lot of negativity come around or stir around from when Kurt went and ran the 500 or other crossovers have happened. I think it's been a lot more positive for sure. It's no matter what discipline of racing you choose, they're all very challenging. And, those drivers that want that challenge to jump from one to the other or do both, hats off to them because it's not easy. Those cars couldn't be any more different than what they are from a stock car. It's just a totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
It's wild.
We'll get you back to the interview in just a little bit. Have you heard about Lucas Brake Parts Cleaner? Lucas Brake Parts Cleaner is made of the highest quality components, giving you superior performance and leaving no residue. How do you apply this? You apply Lucas Brake Parts Cleaner liberally to the parts that need to be cleaned. You'll eliminate brake fluid, grease, dust, and dirt components. We know a little bit about that here in the desert, I'd say. And basically what that does is that makes you a happy driver, because now your brake noise is gone and your performance has gone up. Boom. All right, let's get back to the interview now.
We talked with you in the off season, Tyler, about potentially doing some dirt races or some, just you name it, something outside of a stock car, just to keep yourself going. Are any plans different now, or do you have something scheduled for this summer as well, in addition to obviously Cup?
Yeah, there's some things I'm working on. I don't know if I wish I kind of knew if I could say or not right now.
Oh, okay. Don't say.
Because-
If
Why
your
not?
question,
I need to make sure
Break it. Come on.
I've asked the boss for permission first before I say it. A couple of them I have, but I don't know if I can talk about them yet.
Does it
so I
have
don't know.
fenders?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them have fenders. Some of them don't. So,
but bottom line, yes, it's in the works.
yeah.
Okay.
And the interesting thing with all that is, time wise, it looks like that's something that's kind of easy to do and be fun to do. It'd be good for me to do. And then here in the last 2-3 weeks, I've had issues that I have in the car with my legs. It's like, okay, do I want to be going getting other cars if I need to be resting? So that's a new, I guess, curveball I wasn't really anticipating. So I haven't really been thinking about other,
Yeah.
I've got some things hopefully they're going to happen.
So you
but I kind
haven't-
of had to I'm not going to really go jumping in and looking for other things to go do right now until I know that this issue's behind me.
You haven't confirmed with Richard that you can use his jet to run the 500 and then go down and run the 600? You haven't
Wow.
confirmed that with him yet?
I'm sure if it came down to it, he'd be more willing to do that. I'm pretty sure about that. I've joked with him about trying to do, Rolex, something like that. I don't know where I don't know, where it's at right now, but
But you're one of those drivers. You're one of those
Yeah.
guys that could get into something and
Yes.
be competitive, whether it's a sports car, an Indy car, or a dirt car. That's you. That's Tyler. That's not a guy that's stuck to just one series.
well, I mean, I'd hope not. I'd love to try to find out and be sure, certainly, stock cars are a lot of fun to drive. They're hard to handle. They're beasts. But the Indy cars are just, like that's just something like, I mean, stock cars, the competition in NASCAR is really tight. It's tight in IndyCar too, but it's like you're putting yourself at a whole different level to drive those cars for the length that those IndyCar drivers
You'd be
do.
giddy in an Indy car, wouldn't you? I'm watching.
Yes.
You. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. No, I definitely, I definitely would be. I've not got to drive the real thing, but I've gotten to play around this in a few. Been able to be put in a few environments to get a pretty good read on it. And
And you are dancing
nothing-
around something.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
It's been real. I mean, the few opportunities I've had to drive
Right.
something that's close to it or as close as you can get to the real thing, it's been really, really fun. It's incredible.
I still can't believe they don't have power steering, because we talk about technology.
I was just getting ready to
Yeah.
say the
Yeah.
part that is the most mind blowing about it is you're just going around a corner and you're literally all right, I'm having to bend my
Right.
arm into the cockpit. If I hit a bump that's going to break my arm, it could, but you have to just bend your elbows into the cockpit to hold around some of the corners. It's incredible.
Yeah, do that at Watkins Glen with no power steering.
Oh, that'd be
Forget it.
awesome.
See?
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
That
that's
would
a
be.
driver, man. That is
It's true.
That's a driver. I mean, that's AJ Foyt. That's Mario. That's Tony Stewart. Kyle Larson. It's not
Tyler Reddick.
It's not like the hand on the steering wheel and brr, brr. You want that difficulty of being able to steer that, as I'm told now.
Are you saying-
racecraft? Why are we calling it a racecraft now?
Because that's what it is.
But I've not heard that in 20 years until we have an ARCA driver going, talking about the racecraft. It's got race car, man. We're not
A racecraft.
Have you heard that yet?
I thought we were talking about a racing craft, what I'm working on, not a racecraft.
See there?
Okay.
I heard
Chevrolet
it.
racecraft.
I've heard it twice with these 16-year-olds going, it's a
I
race
think
car.
you can call it a racecraft if it takes flight in a race, but other than that, I don't know. It's still a car as of right now.
Like construction paper, like you're making it, arts and
Right.
crafts, and
Yeah.
Hey, Freak Nation, our buds at General Tire want to give you $70 back on a Visa prepaid card. How do you get it? Well, you buy 4 qualifying passenger tires from General Tire. up to $70 back. We're not talking these high performance bad boys you see in the ARCA series. Passenger tires. You follow me? For more information, go to generaltire.com. Generaltire.com. General Tire delivers for whatever you do. And of course, the official tire of the Freak Nation.
Do we know how your legs are? Do we know what the problem is?
I think we've figured out what the issue in the car is.
Mm-hmm.
It made a lot of gains, the problem is just sitting in the car in the shop floor. It's pretty difficult to understand if it's truly fixed or not, because I can sit in that car all day long and feel fine, but it's 20-ish laps or sooner on the racetrack of driving with the load, with the bumps, is when it really starts to kick in. So even the 15-minute warm-ups that we have isn't really enough time, even if you ran it straight through, to really know if you're going to have a problem or not. So that's the tough part about it. We know, I know what is causing my legs to go to sleep, pinching my sciatic nerve, but it's just trying to get my legs in the right place. If I get my legs too low, then I'm going to cut the circulation off in another area, which is not good either. So we had it right in the old car, so we'll keep moving the pedals around until we get it right. I just hope we found it, I guess, this week at the shop.
Do yellow flags help? I mean, can you move it enough to just be like, okay, it's getting in a new position or whatever?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, yellow flags help a lot. That first time really comes on, it's like, oh my God, it's terrible. But whenever the cautions do come, you take advantage of it. Thankfully, with this car, the way the air intake is through the grill opening and everything, you're not having to shut the engine off a lot to keep it cool. A lot of the tracks we were at, we weren't in a lot of situations that have to save fuel or anything, so I could, pretty easily loosen the belts up, move around a little bit, get some feeling back.
That's true. If I'm driving to Vegas, man, I can stop, stretch, go grab me a Coke. Man. I could turn around and slap my 8-year-old. Shut up!
A lot of drivers, have fixed belts, and I understand why that's like appealing. It's less weight. There's less chance you catch your hand on something and loosen something up. But having double adjustable belts, like not just on the shoulders but everywhere else, was like, I would have been completely in trouble if I didn't have that in my car, because I wouldn't have been able to loosen up lap belts and move around. That would have been bad. So I'm kind of glad that for whatever reason I've just decided to stick with those.
Can you do that at speed? Can you make adjustments to your belts as you're cruising at 200 miles an hour?
You don't want to be loosening your belts up at speed. Yeah, that would be bad. But I mean, I think it was something almost like a nervous tick or something like that I had when I ran at Junior Motorsports and that second Xfinity year. I would just almost every straightaway kind of catch myself just making grabbing, like, going a notch, or not a notch, but like the belts have seams and everything. They'll just kind of, they're so tight already, you'll feel them go like one more thread or something down.
You feel the click, like
it's kind of like a click, even though it's really not. But yeah,
but like the thread, like you in your head, you think it. Yeah.
So I don't know.
AJ Allmendinger lost the Indy 500 because his seatbelt came undone.
Oh, it was awful.
How wacky would that be?
It's happened.
To you?
Yeah, but it only happened in the first place because I never got it clicked in the beginning. Clicked in the first place. Never had that happen on the racetrack, like under green. But like, you'll be in there, you think you got your belts tight, and you'll go to tighten this belt one more time, and it'll just go all the way out, and then the thing will come flying up. It's like, I didn't have it clicked in. But under, sitting in the garage, not like on the racetrack, so nothing crazy.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch. The biggest racing weekend ever at Worldwide Technology Raceway is coming June 3rd through the 5th. The party starts Thursday with the NASCAR Fan Fest and Hauler Parade at Ballpark Village. Cup practice and truck qualifying on Friday, Cup qualifying and the Toyota 200 on Saturday, and it all wraps up on Sunday with the Enjoy Illinois 300. This is the first time in a lifetime to see the NASCAR Cup Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to worldwidetechnologyraceway.com to get your tickets now. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism.
What is the craziest thing that's happened in the cockpit during a race?
Either there's 15 of them you're trying to rattle through, or really nothing gnarly.
Or that would be great if there was nothing gnarly. Me, Meanwhile, yeah, leg falling asleep.
I mean, that's not good. Yeah. Steering wheel come off in my hands. Like if I went to, I don't know, just make sure it was like on, and I've pulled back, and I noticed as soon as I pulled back to make sure it was on, it started moving and put it right back on. That wasn't good.
Click.
Okay, we're good now. All right. We were like half an inch from big problems here from a crash. What else? One time I had an electrical fire, and I was like, hey, do I need to pit for this? Do you guys want me to stop? The car's on fire under the dash. Whenever the caution notes come out, could we pit and put that out?
Do we need to pit?
It took a while to put that fire out.
Have 6 layers of Nomex or whatever it is, but
the problem is I should have came right to pit road and had them put it out because it burned up our electrical system. In the garage for like 30 laps.
Why do you ask the question? It's your life.
I was hoping it was just going to go out, like under green. Some wind would get in there, some air moving around in the cockpit. I was hoping it was just going to go out.
Hey, my lower extremities are on fire. I think we ought to come in and put these out.
Well, talking about, I was actually really young when this happened. The in and out Lockhart, the radiators, I think they still are in some of them, or in the bigger classes like 500, 250, whatever. The radiators mounted above your feet, and those outlaw carts like under the hood area or whatever. I think, I don't know, we dumped the water out of the radiator or changed it out, whatever.
Right.
We threw the hose clamp back on there, filled it back up with water. We went racing. Well, somebody forgot, my dad, I don't know. Someone forgot to tighten the hose clamp down, and it was like after we'd been running for a couple minutes, and I got in an accident, and like car went across the hood or something like that, and it grabbed the radiator hose and ripped it off.
Oh.
And my bare legs met hot boiling water. That felt really good.
Oh, did you have scarring from it?
I don't know. I don't think I have any scarring anymore, but like for a long time I felt like it was very obvious, like I could really see it on my legs.
Whoa.
But that hurt.
yeah.
That's a
That is a nightmare. That's what you dream about. Like, it's never going to happen. Well, it just did.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because of that, I for a long time here up until recently, I've always I got to have stirrups in my suit, which are those straps that go, where the bottom of the suit is. It's like strapped to kind of keep
your pants down, right?
Pants down, yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
Man.
So that was the one thing. Even though I wore socks up to here that were fireproof and everything, I was always worried if my legs are exposed, a radiator that's not mounted above my feet anymore is gonna bust open and burn my legs.
Wow.
I would. I'd have nightmares about that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did for a while.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was pretty young when it happened. I think I was 6 or 7.
What?
Yeah.
That's true. We of doing 20 plus years, we've not asked drivers, because I guess it's not kosher. What kind of nightmares do you have? Do you have nightmares as a driver? Do you have crashing nightmares? Do you have nightmares as a driver? Do you have gnarly dreams like that?
I wouldn't say they're like nightmares, but I have a lot of dreams, and I've lived this a couple times, where you just crash 30 times in a race, you hit everything, and somehow still finish, that type of stuff. I've actually done that a few times, like Bristol. I spun out.
That's Bristol.
What did I do? I think I spun out twice at Bristol. Started a lap down because we got in trouble. Yeah, I think I got to the front, spun out, and I spun out a second time. I think we still won the race, but I've had a couple dreams like that.
Right.
They're similar in that nature.
That's
you just
a good
hit everything
dream
possible.
if you win.
Well, I wouldn't say always win. I just finish. So I think. Yeah, I guess my brain does have some weird dreams like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, in college, people have dreams of always waking up late and missing their class or something. But no, as a race car driver, you do dream about racing.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it.
You
Yeah.
want to know what one of my nightmares is?
Oh, no.
I was the all-state kicker in high school.
Oh.
Here we go.
And I always get that call to make the winning kick in my dreams, but I'm always late. This is no joke. I'm always late to
What?
kick.
Late is a big thing in
I don't even know
dreams.
how you could be late for that, but
Well,
yeah.
it's like they called me. I was on my couch or something. I had to catch a plane to go kick a football.
I was thinking it was going to be something like you go up to kick and you're running up to line drive this thing, and all of a sudden the football's actually like a soccer or a basketball or something. And you freeze or something like that.
It's a 2x4.
Or it's like Lucy with the peanuts.
There you go. I don't know. Solved another good minutes with you
It's
here in
been
the Freak
fun.
Nation. I know you can go do some other things, which, by the way, Crasher and I, we have Beat the Freak for a set of General Tires every week. And you're looking at two people that picked you to finish in the top 3.
All right.
Yeah. All right. You're probably getting a call saying, dude.
Is there like an apostrophe if he can feel his legs?
Yeah, right.
Is there like a little clause that can get you out of it?
No,
if
because
not?
clearly you've proven that you're a badass and you don't need feeling in your legs to still kick ass and lead the
I
most laps in
kinda
California.
Well, you don't have to really use the brake at Fontana as
No,
much.
you
Here
don't.
you kind of have to.
Yeah, here you have to. That's true.
If you don't use the brake here, well, you'll be meeting a wall pretty quick.
Don't say that. Legs will be fine. Legs will be fine.
Maybe I need to retract my pick of Tyler Reddick
No,
finishing the top
stop
3.
it. Nope.
But to Tyler Reddick always, man, thank you for doing this, bud.
Yeah, thank you guys.